All right, we're live. Welcome back. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Fusilli Grind. We got a special guest in the house again. It's Willy Fusilli himself.
I'm here back again.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us, William.
Thank you for having me. Love the pod.
Thanks, dude. I mean, wouldn't be what it is without the input of our friends and family. So, and you're, squarely in that camp. So, anyway,
Appreciate it, bro.
in our last episode, we were talking about
Ben Chadourne.
Chadourne, and as luck would have it, BC has blessed us with some content in the past week, in the past month, actually.
He was listening.
He was listening. As I find that that's happening now that we have the show. I'll say something and then it'll just magically appear. It'll manifest. Fritte will put up a new Yalta for us. Ben Havrin will put out a new part for us with Zero Skateboards. Go watch it if you haven't already. Yeah, dude. So anyway,
we're predicting the future with Fusilli.
Yeah, dude. We're very prophetic here. We have our fingers on the pulse of the zeitgeist. Would you agree?
I would agree that.
So we're back in the studio. We got Willy Kleinson again, back in action. He's got some new specs. He's looking good.
New specs, yeah. Let me show you. I got my Persols on. I got these, and shout out Lens Crafters for getting it done in the same day. Usually takes me 2 weeks to get new glasses.
Same day Lens Crafters. What's the location? Do you want to shout them out?
Lens Crafters Ventura at the Pacific Coast Mall.
Hit them up, you guys. Tell them Willy sent you. All right. So anyway, we were talking Ben Chadourne. We were talking about Yalta because Yalta had some clips. Actually, no. Were we talking about Yalta? Yeah.
We were talking about Yalta because we weren't sure where he was going to go after Polar. We knew that he left, and we were speculating on where he was going to go.
Right. And so now we know that Yalta, as well as Antonio Durao, are pro for Hardbody NYC.
What are your thoughts on that prior to getting to the BC?
I told you, right? And you seem to think that it wasn't like that out of the ordinary. I'm not that well versed in Hardbody. Like who does Hardbody? Who else was on Hardbody? Do we know?
I lived in New York for a long time, and I knew Hardbody as kind of just like a core New York team, but I didn't know. I knew it was like a core New York brand, but like kind of in line with like Skate John almost as what I thought it was. Like it was somewhat slightly affiliated. It was like the Homies brand.
Okay.
But it was also been around for a long time. And just in past videos with Yalta and stuff, I feel like he's spent a lot of time in New York with like the Johnny Wilson and Andrew Wilson and those guys, at least in those like early Wilson HD edits and stuff. So to me, like him going and spending time in New York and like also at this point in his career where he's got like a kid and his own successful brand in its own right, I feel like it's just like a nice kind of let out to pasture moment where he can kind of just enjoy skating and be in a city that he likes to hang out with his friends.
Yeah, I think that's a good take. I mean, I agree with you. I think at first I was like, wouldn't he want to have something with a little more cachet? But then like, nobody's making money off of a board sponsor in 2024. So, and he's got Dancer. Dancer's super sick, and I hope that Dancer's doing numbers. And he's Danish, right? So I think he lives in Copenhagen. I assume that he's gonna maintain primary residence in Denmark, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, I feel like if you're Danish, you get the free healthcare. They probably give you all kinds of subsidies on your children and all that. So he's probably fine, right? Financially. I'm not worried about Yalta financially.
I think it was probably more of like again, like he's probably doesn't want to travel as much. He doesn't want to film, and he probably doesn't want to be a part of Pontus's big vision for that.
Yeah, a lot of people quitting on Pontus lately.
Guys that have left, like in Villa specifically, I think, or in Yalta too, it's just like an inflection point in their career where they're kind of just like, I have career left and I want to like not have it be just completely defined by one brand, even though it was like super successful.
In that
And like,
way, yeah, in that way, it's super understandable. I agree, and it sounds like Pontus is, can be a little bit of a prickly pear.
yeah, I think, I mean, just based on, I mean, I remember like, did you hear or ever read that article of Cyrus Bennett writing
Yeah.
for Polar, like early
Yep.
Polar? And he like kind of voiced the same thing. So he
Yeah.
seems pretty even keeled and chill. So if he's thinking that, I can't imagine everybody else has a very different opinion.
I think this footage that just came out shows that Yalta is still kind of at the height of his powers, though.
I I agree. That's what I was saying. Maybe it's not. Maybe I phrased it wrong in terms of like let out to pasture. I meant more just like let out to kind of do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Like we're riding for hard body. He can go on whatever trips he wants. He can participate in the Ben Chadourne video if he wants with like the guys he likes to hang out with. He's getting boards sent to him. He must like them enough to keep riding them, and that's probably content for him. And he's probably made plenty money off Polar anyways.
For sure. Yeah. No, you're right. And it's funny, Ben Shadorn like really cherry picks a lot of guys for this edit, and one of the top comments on the YouTube comments was like, "The Ben Shadorn team is the best team in skateboarding," and it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, it is. Ben Shadorn and Johnny Wilson seem to be like the two guys that film HPX, Panasonic crispy 720 footage.
and
Um,
it's they're also guys that are like they can bring a group of guys like that together. It's like the all-star team almost because they're not directly affiliated with any brand. Like
right.
Ben's not a filmer for hockey, and like Johnny's not a filmer. I guess he's like kind of employed by Supreme, but
Yeah. I mean, I think he probably is employed by Supreme, judging by the amount of Supreme that he wears voluntarily.
right.
I would have to imagine that he must be employed by them. But still, I totally agree. It's less of a, this is for some effort or for some brand. This is just like the highest level, highest echelon homie vid
Yeah,
attainable.
and that's what I think. I always like watch I like those Johnny videos, and why I like this video as
Yeah.
like in terms of its when I first watched it I was kind of like the skating's not that high level, this kind of seems like B-roll, but then when you like remember that the point of the video is to kind of be like a feel good like
Yeah.
day with your homies kind of vibe, again, like I think you worded it best, like just the highest caliber level of skating of kicking it with your homies. It's just in different countries all over the world. It's got to be pretty
Yeah.
fun.
It's a homie video, but the homies are all cracked, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna fire it up. So we're in Paris, off rip, looks like.
Later, Mackey.
Yeah, we haven't seen much Aiden Mackey lately. This is kind of like the first resurgence of Mackey footage in 2024. Little
I really like that last part he put out with FA.
lip slide Smith. That was the one where he sort of catalyzed the whole long pole gym thing that I'm so upset by. Oh, here we go. Here's our king. That switch V heel was so
Uh,
buttery.
and like a hand down surf style like exit.
Totally
It's
surfed it out. Totally surfed it out. So
no
sick. In
bus,
in the
only surf.
in the puffy, all bus. Cyrus delighted. Yeah, so sick. He definitely got the best footage in this. I said that. I texted you that, but
Yes.
I feel like you agreed.
I like Nick Stain footage. I just wish that he would switch his trick selection up.
I agree. That's like the problem with Nick Stain.
It's
This
just you can't have too much Nick Stain footage in a row is the problem, because then it just starts kind of looking. Also, pause. That you can't hear the music in this, but I wanted to point out that I can't stand when like videos open with like inspiring like twinkle music, and then they do like a black screen, and then it's just like metal for 3 minutes and
yeah,
you can't actually focus on the skating. It's
yeah.
just like, I don't know. To me it's just like such a turn off, because I'm like, I had my volume up, I was ready to watch this, and now my ears hurt while I'm trying to focus on the skating.
Yeah, the music was pretty tough, I remember in this one. Yeah, I was not big on the music in this one. I had a tough go of it.
In
Yeah.
any case, I think you're right though about Nick Stain in terms of putting out, maybe it's not about less footage, it's just about like less footage over the course of like a spread out like like more and all condensed into like an actual part because I feel like you see him in so many videos like with Atlantic Drift, with
Yep.
Johnny's crew, with like some shout outs with the limousine crew too. So it's like you're seeing a lot of him and he's skating like with different guys, but the tricks kind of are the same. I
Yeah,
don't know. I like that he skates fast and does manuals and stuff. Like I
for
thought this was
sure.
cool.
That nose manual was super sick. The children were delighted. I loved that there was Mike Anderson footage in this. I thought that was super sick. I think Mike
I thought it
Anderson
was
is
super sick too.
an underrated king. I love this frontside flip.
Yeah, shout out Black Hole Skate Shop in Ventura. It's Mike's
Hell yeah!
shop.
I was gonna say this is a local boy for you, but there's a photo of him doing a backside flip on this thing as well. It's so cool that he lands into the little bank. The
Yeah.
backside flip photo that was in Thrasher was also super sick. All right, how about this? Let's talk about this guy,
August, whatever his name
August.
is, Augustine.
Yeah, what's your read on this gentleman?
I I I like his skating, but I'm just like I'm just like looking to the camera and like I'm a tough guy because I film with Strobeck. Like I don't know, it's just kind of like
Yeah, he seems to be feeling himself a bit much, right?
and this persona has been reiterated and been reincarnated so many different times within the last I don't know since 2016 when he had like those original guys.
Right,
I feel like he's kind of tried to slide in new folks, and
right,
no one's really stuck.
right. I feel like we glossed over the Paul Grund footy
Okay,
though.
yeah, and the K Rod footy.
Oh yeah, there's K Rod footy coming. Just wait,
It's your favorite.
my favorite. I thought this line was pretty funny. He does a good impossible on flat right here. He,
I became an Aiden Mackey fan one after that part that he put out last year, and then when I realized how tall he is, he's like a tall man. He's like 6'4",
yeah, he's a big boy. Yep, I've heard that.
local Tallman.
Shout out tall boys. How about this spot though?
Sick.
Yummy. It is kind of a cop out trick to do at a spot like this, like, oh, I'll ollie up and front grind the bar, but what
It's
else are
one
you
of
gonna
those
do?
tricky, and like the risk reward there is pretty fucking high. Like
It's
if you get
true.
smoked, that's a end day ender for sure.
Day ender, it's a long way down. Okay, here we go. I love this clip right here. This is a
Fast
little
power
manual. Bah, that backside flip was
and like
so good.
all the way around, no pivot.
Yeah. No, just like textbook. Hold on. Yeah, just textbook backside flip.
I also think that Yalta and Bobby DeKaiser have the best setup ollie in
Mm-hmm.
that there is. They have the best ollie ins. It's like
How about this ollie
quick.
out?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I saw this and I was like, Yalta's got so much more to give, you know?
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's kind of why I was like, is this hard buddy thing weird? Like, but I think to your point, like, he's one of these guys that you'll see him because he's with Johnny Wilson. You'll see him because he's with Ben Chadourne. You'll see him. He's just got eyes on him. Okay, here we go. Kevin Rodriguez time. This is the most footage Kevin Rodriguez has put out in the past, like,
I know this is more footage
five
than
years,
FA put out for him, and
5, 10 years maybe, and it's
yeah,
still like 5 clips, but still. I will say, like, all Kevin Rodriguez making fun of aside, this footage that he put in this, I thought was the best stuff I've seen of him. It's the only stuff I've seen
yeah.
of him, but I was more impressed than I have been lately. And I think the stuff that he did on this penis is better than what Philip did. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to see these clips. Yeah, and the back 180, you're right. It is kind of crazy. He wasn't doing the too much of flying over a flat gap onto a curb in this, so that's probably why I
Yeah, but
liked it.
there was plenty enough of that.
Yeah, now he's flying over a flat gap onto a pole jam.
What do you think about pause it? What do you think about grabs? I don't think grabs like street grabs are like popular enough. I feel like people are doing like the where they like grab the end of the board and they like kind of like tap a pole with it when they're
Oh
coming out of
yeah,
stuff.
like I
But
noticed.
like no one's doing like an indie grab like he just did. Like seeing a street grab into a bank.
He just does it off flat into a crazy cobblestone bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. The grab. Did you watch the Rosfit video?
I am halfway through the one
Oh
that you.
yeah.
I'm watching your bit footage of it.
Oh well. I appreciate your patronage, but go watch the end of it. Cambrian Sedlick does a pole jam Japan air.
Damn.
So sick, very cool. I think it was a Japan air.
I see. I see. It's like a big snowboarding trick.
Yes, snowboard vibes for sure. But the one he does is really sick. But yeah, like Shanahan did some street grabs last year that were really cool. I think I would love to see more street grabs. So shout out K Rod. I thought it was funny. There's like the random Louis Lopez clip in here.
Yeah. It's almost just like, oh, is this even the same video? When
Right.
you see Louis Lopez skating in it.
Yeah, this weird like rolling long lens Louis line. Kind of whack. And they also put that on Quarter Snacks top 10, which I thought was really silly. And then just him doing some slight here in Paris. Like
That's
perfect
bad. That's
perfect
crazy.
execution, but funny, also funny to see Louis skating with Roman Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Just like
Well, I
very
forget that they're
rare.
all in Converse. Oh, there's
That's
Eric
true.
Herrera, random clip.
And no,
Oh, that was what's his name?
Brian O'Dwyer.
Vod.
Yeah, he's from Westfield, New Jersey, which is actually funny. That's a town like where I grew up when I was little. Um,
Funny, funny. I met
oh,
Brian O'Dwyer when he was still skating for Santa Cruz at Cooper Skate Park in New
oh,
York.
that must have been great. But I mean, we have to stop and say a little something about it's 2024. The Cyrus kickflip is not going anywhere.
No,
And I mean, I'm not sick of it yet, but I am kind of like, okay,
stop drooling over it.
stop. Yeah, fine. So maybe I am sick of it. I don't know. Sounds like
I thought
sounds like
that
I'm
was
getting a
that.
little bit sick of it.
It just gets a lot of coverage. Every time he does one, it's like top 10. It's always Corded Stacks top 10. It's always like
It's
blown
just
out slow mo.
he's just got it and it looks good. I like the
I
backsmith front shove though. I thought the
This
backsmith front
Yalta
shove.
clip was crazy.
Yeah, the Yalta clip again. I think this is probably like the memorable clip of this whole thing for me. Like,
Switch or fakie
yeah,
switch nose grind.
just like balanced
Fakie out
perfectly
switch
the
nose
whole way.
through the curve.
Also, it's just like tired spot. This is what we love to see,
Yes,
like I've seen so many tricks go down on this spot and it's like, okay, okay, okay. But now Yalta blessing it,
yeah,
respecting the spot, giving us something really to look at. I just thought that was so sick how he did that. And that's when I was like, okay, Yalta's got more to give. Oh, I thought it was funny that
yes,
there was Evan Hay footage in this. Do you know about this guy?
yeah. Isn't he on Frog?
I don't know.
This guy right here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's like a Canadian guy. He's like part of the Blue Tile Lounge crew, isn't he? With like Bobby the Kaiser and them.
Okay. Yeah. He was doing like skate commentary style YouTube before it was a thing, and then he like got out of the game. But he's like
Oh, really?
the OG. Yeah, yeah. Like Gifted Hater
Good.
has credited him as being like the guy that got him into it.
Sick.
Yeah. It was nice to see some Sage clips in this.
Agreed.
Like haven't seen a Sage clip in I don't even know how long.
Well, when's the last time you saw a stage clip where you could see his whole body?
Well done. Well said.
You may have seen him, you just didn't know it.
That hard flip was wet. There's this our singular Sean Pablo clip back when he
Yeah,
nose grind.
I like those cons. Those what are those?
The fast breaks.
The fast breaks. Yeah,
I had this pair.
the blue ones.
I had this exact pair, the white and blue Sage ones. But I sold them. I just was like, I'm never gonna wear these or skate these, so I sold them.
It's pretty much like a dunk.
Yeah, it's the Converse Dunk, but it's a good shoe. And so I thought this was funny that they chose to end the edit with Vincent's footage.
Because and I again I wouldn't have I really like Vincent Tusery
Me too.
and I would have I when I saw this I was just like, oh, sick, like, all right, here we go, like, He's going to give us some heat that he hasn't been giving us at all on FA.
Right.
And it's just more, it's more the same.
It's a wall ride. It's a wally board slide, and then these tricks on this curb, and then he does a kickflip on a bank. Like,
Yeah. And the
okay,
kickflip is not even as good as Cyrus's kickflip. It's backside.
like this is sick. Like, fine. I didn't need to see the two like airball attempts. I could have done with just seeing. I didn't even need to see the shove it one. I just needed to see that
Yeah.
one. Um,
The shove it one didn't even look like he was trying to do the shove it one. It looked like he just like threw it and was
right,
trying to do that.
right. And then it's just a kickflip on a bank, and like yes, this is a great kickflip on a bank, but there was already a Cyrus kickflip on a bank in this edit. Like yeah, he's way out of the top of it, and it's like crusty River Sen riverbank shit, and he's got all black Jordan 1 lows on with white socks. I was just like, that's such a weird clip to end this with, and he's got the Supreme BOGO on, and it's just like, what? I was
This
so
that fit could be this fit clip could be from 2016 for all I
right,
care.
right, and maybe it is, right?
Yeah.
You know, who the fuck knows? But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was super weird. Like when they had all of the heat, like from Yalta, I feel like any one of Yalta's clips could have been a more
The
effective
ender.
ender, especially if they're gonna pepper him throughout the montage. It was just like seemed like such a weird thing to put Vincent there at the end. Maybe it's like, oh, Vincent's back or whatever.
Maybe it's foreshadowing.
Like Vincent's got some heat coming, or
Like here's some Vincent clips that you guys are waiting for and everyone's underwhelmed, but it's like old clips and then he comes out with a full part. Because I
right.
heard that FA is putting a full length together.
Oh shit.
Um, so
Okay,
I
that's
won't
good to
say
know.
I won't say who told me that, but I heard it.
Oh, you didn't hear it here first on Fusilli Grind, baby. Hell yeah. Thank you again, Willie, for joining us back. This is always great getting together. This is therapy for me. This is
Damn.
me with my good homie getting together and watching videos and talking shit. So, thanks again for coming, bro.
Thanks for having me on, bro. I really appreciate it. I love chatting with you normally, but getting to chat about our similar interests is even better. So I'll see you next time.
Over and out.